As we've been discussing now for weeks, we are at the end of the proper time of the year. We've been through Advent, Christmas, Epiphany, the season after Epiphany, Lent, Easter, and then the Feast of Pentecost. And now we're in this long green season, the ordinary time of the year, that season after Pentecost. And so this Sunday will be our first Sunday after Pentecost. And we have a lot of space over the summer and the early fall to read the teachings of Jesus, the miracles of Jesus, some very tender and some very challenging passages from the epistles, and to sing a lot of really beloved hymns as well. So it's a long stretch from Pentecost all the way until the cycle begins again in Advent, and we hope that you will continue to journey with us through all of that time. To get things started, we have one of the most intimate stories from Jesus' life, where an unnamed woman comes and out of such an overflowing sense of gratitude for the mercy that she has been shown, she actually bathes Jesus' feet with her tears and dries them with her hair. Very evocative kind of image, but showing that level of intimacy that his followers had. It was much later, it was in the Middle Ages, that Pope Innocent conflated this woman with Mary Magdalene. And for a long time, and in some people's minds, if you read the Da Vinci Code, we still think of this woman as Mary Magdalene, although most biblical scholars say that these were entirely different people altogether. It's also very questionable about whether this woman in the gospel that we'll read on Sunday had a checkered past in terms of her professional activity. Again, we really don't know much about that. And it's much better really to take this story at face value and to really see that overflowing sense of gratitude in the face of mercy. At the offertory, the choir will be singing words that were composed in the 17th century by a very quirky English poet, Phineas Fletcher. Drop, drop, slow tears, and bathe those beauteous feet that brought from heaven the news and Prince of Peace. These are familiar words because they've been set many times by composers. They're very evocative words, like the story itself. This setting is by the American composer Robert Graham, and he does it in sort of a bluesy fashion, and it really has a different take on these words that has more of a sense of repose. Very gentle and has that rocking bass to it as the choir moves through those words in a very steady, even rhythm. At the communion hymn is a hymn that we don't sing here at St. John's a lot, and yet it's one of the most beautiful texts and tunes that we have in our hymnal. Again, it's older words. It's a poem that was written by George Herbert, again in the 17th century. King of glory, King of peace, I will love thee. And again, it talks about this overflowing gratitude as a response to the mercy and grace that we have experienced. And it is set to music, again, by an American composer, and the tune is named General Seminary, after the Episcopal Seminary in New York. And it's a very easy tune to sing, and it has such an effusive way to set these words. You can feel the gratitude and the praise leaping out of the heart of George Herbert, and then by extension, all of us who will sing the hymn. And then very appropriate for a service where we'll be baptizing 2 new family members of St. John's, we will go out singing Lift High the Cross, really talking about our baptismal covenant, but again, through that lens of how we respond to the mercy and grace that have been shown to us and as signified to us in our baptismal covenant. So we hope that you will join us here at St. John's, either online or here in person this weekend, as we give thanks to God for all the mercy we have been shown.